What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stack. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Neon Mushroom, and today, I know you got all excited. Monday was Commander, but we're still doing it. We're playing Modern. I'm playing Modern. It's a new tournament. This is round one, and because it's round one, we're playing a new deck. I'm playing the deck Blue-White Hammer Time. Now, for those of you who don't know, Blue-White Hammer Time is actually White-Blue Hammer Time. There's only a very small handful of blue cards in the deck. It used to be mono-white. There's URZAS iterations, but the deck is essentially an aggressive combo deck. How it works is it uses cards like SAGAS to make things like Colossus Hammer equip for like free, and then it wants to attack its opponent with creatures and put hammers on those creatures, and instead of attacking for 20 life points, it's for 2, because you attack in increments of 10, unless of course there's an Inkmoth Nexus involved in this transaction, in which case there are many hands where you can turn to kill your opponent if you had an Inkmoth Nexus, which is quite good. But if you know, I'm not going to say any more because we're about to play games with it, and I think you can probably divulge how the rest of the deck works based on the next 4 videos you're going to see. Today's opponent is Ryan Foley. I know that if you watch this channel, you know Ryan. He plays a lot of Commander with us, but he has attempted, he has not attempted, he has reached out and said that he wants to play Modern, and I was like, yo, I got just the deck for you. So he's playing Red, White, Burn today. This is a deck you saw me beat Wayne on Team of Rhinos with last week. Now, mind you, this is Go Easy on Foley. This is his first Modern event. This is one of the first times he's ever played the format. This is the very first time he's played Burn, and this is his first time seeing Hammer Time, the Blue-White Hammer Time deck in action. So this is a learning experience for him. We just happened to get paired up round one, so that's why Foley, unfortunately, had to play his first game ever of Modern in a game that was going to be turned into a video for you guys to see. But also, it's Tuesday. We're going to play Magic again tonight. I can't say too much, but maybe I'm not recording. Maybe someone else is recording Modern, and it's going to go up on this channel next week. You'll know more about that next week. But Foley's coming back again, so he liked Modern enough that he's going to play more. Anyway, that's everything you guys should need to know about today's video before we play Magic in today's video. So without further ado, round one. Game 1, I win the die roll, putting me on the play, and I get to keep a hand of 7 cards, and Foley's also keeping a hand of 7. Mine includes Marsh Flats, Stoneforge Mystic, Giver of Runes, Pure Steel Paladin, Springleaf Drum, and a Colossus Hammer. There are better hands than this in the deck, but this hand does everything we want it to. We're really only missing a SAGAS, but we can't ship to 6 just to try to find one, so we're keeping. Turn 1, I drop a Marsh Flats and fetch for basic planes, dropping a 19 to play a Giver of Runes and pass the turn to Foley, who plays an Inspiring Vantage and passes back. I'll drop Inkmoth Nexus as my land for turn, and then I'll play Stoneforge Mystic. Triggering my Stoneforge Mystic, I get to tutor for an equipment, so I'll grab Shadow Spear, add it to my hand, and pass to Foley, who plays a Mountain and then taps 2 to Searing Blaze my Giver of Runes. Searing Blaze has landfall, and he played a land, so it deals 3 to my Giver of Runes and 3 to me, dropping me to 16, and he passes the turn. I'll drop Marsh Flats as my land for turn and fetch for a basic plains, dropping to 15, and then I'll play Springleaf Drum. Then I'll use the Drum to tap Mystic in order to cast a Shadow Spear. Then I'll play a Colossus Hammer and pass the turn, where Foley will draw and pass back to me. I'll drop another Inkmoth Nexus and cast Pure Steel Paladin using the Drum to tap Stoneforge Mystic for white. Then I'll activate the first Nexus using the new one and try to equip the hammer to it using Pure Steel Paladin's free equip ability, but in response, Foley's going to bolt the Inkmoth and it dies. Then I'll equip the Pure Steel Paladin with the hammer and the Shadow Spear for free due to its ability, and then I'll play another Springleaf Drum and pass the turn. Foley is once again going to draw a card for turn and pass, so I'll play an Esper Sentinel, but in response to the Esper Sentinel, Foley's going to Skullcrack me, dropping me to 12. Then I'll activate Inkmoth Nexus, equip it with the hammer, and attack for 11. In fact, that's going to win us game 1. We're headed into game 2. Now, I've already mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but this is Foley's first time playing Modern. It's his first time playing Burn, and it's his first time playing against Hammer Time, and he had to do it on camera, so go easy on him. He did have an Eidolon of the Great Revel in his hand, and if you follow Modern, you already know that that's one of his best cards against my deck. He did not know how fast we could go, so moving into game 2, we talked about how the first game went, and hopefully he knows to cast his Eidolons on curve when he has them. Now, I do have a sideboard plan for this deck. Mind you, I'm not totally confident in it because this is my first time playing Hammer Time, but we're going to remove 2 Ornithopters, 1 Pure Steel Paladin, 1 Reality Chip, and 1 Steel Shaper's Gift. The Ornithopters aren't exactly what I want in this matchup. They don't block any of his threats effectively, and we want to trim on some of our threats to make room for our sideboard plan. Ornithopters just made sense to me. We're going to cut 1 Pure Steel Paladin because it's quite vulnerable to all of Foley's spells, and we don't want to try to go all in too early because we can get blown out. We removed a Reality Chip, and I'm not totally confident on this one because it blocks his creatures quite well, but what the Reality Chip is really for is grinding out hard matchups, and this is not a matchup we want to go to grind town against. And then we're removing a Steel Shaper's Gift just because we don't don't really need the 5th copy of Stoneforge Mystic in this matchup, and we really want to make space for our 5th sideboard card. Speaking of what we're bringing in, we're going to bring in 2 March of Otherworldly Lights to remove his threats and some of his sideboard cards, including Roiling Vortex. 2 Teferi Time Ravelers will make it so Foley has to operate at sorcery speed, meaning we can freely go for the combo when we have it, without having to play around blowout cards he has access to like Smash to Smithereens and Searing Blaze. And we'll bring in a copy of Spell Pierce because it counters half the spells in Foley's deck. We won game 1, putting Foley on the play for game 2, and I'm keeping a 7-card hand. Foley has to mulligan down to 6. Our opener includes Pure Steel Paladin, Colossus Hammer, Stoneforge Mystic, Hallowed Fountain, March of Otherworldly Light, Ornithopter, and an URZAS Saga. This hand is quite good, so we will be keeping. Turn 1. Foley leads on a tapped Sacred Foundry and passes the turn, so I'll play a tapped Hallowed Fountain, drop an Ornithopter, and pass back. He'll play Scalding Tarn, then drop Goblin Guide and attack me for 2. This triggers Goblin Guide, so we check the top card of my deck. It's not a land, so I put it right back on top. Take 2, drop to 18, and he passes. I'll play URZAS Saga, trigger the Saga, it gets a counter. I'll play Stoneforge Mystic, trigger the Mystic, get a KALDRAS complete, and add it to my hand, and pass the turn. Foley's going to drop a Sun-Baked Canyon, attack me for 2 with the Goblin Guide, trigger Goblin Guide, we're going to reveal a non-land, it's a 2nd Teferi. I take 2, dropping to 16, and Foley passes. I'll trigger URZAS Saga in my first main phase, play Inkmoth Nexus, and try to pass the turn, but at end of turn, Foley's going to fetch for a mountain, dropping to 19, and Searing Blaze my Stoneforge Mystic with landfall. In response, I'm going to activate Stoneforge Mystic and cheat in KALDRAS complete, and it attaches to a germ per its triggered ability, and then Stoneforge Mystic dies, and I take 3, dropping to 13. Foley's going to play Fiery Islet as his land for turn and pass, so in my first main phase, my URZAS Saga will trigger, and in response to that trigger, I'll float a colorless mana. Then I'll sacrifice the URZAS Saga to get a Springleaf Drum and put it into play, and then using the colorless mana, I'll play a Colossus Hammer. Then I'll play Pure Steel Paladin using the Springleaf Drum to get my 2nd white, and attempt to put Hammer on KALDRAS complete's germ. Foley's going to respond with Smash to Smithereens targeting the Hammer. That drops me down to 10. Then I'll cast another Colossus Hammer and draw off the Pure Steel Paladin. I'll play URZAS Saga, trigger the Saga, and then I'll move the new Hammer to KALDRAS complete's germ. In response, Foley's going to Burrows Charm me using 2 Pain lands, so he'll drop to 17, and then I take 4, dropping to 6. Then I'll attack Foley for 15, dropping him to 2. After that, it's Foley's turn, so he's going to immediately crack the Fiery Islet to draw a card, then play Arid Mesa and fetch for a mountain, dropping to 1. Then he's going to Searing Blaze my Pure Steel Paladin with landfall, so I'll take 3, dropping to 3, and Pure Steel dies. Then I'll attack with Goblin Guide, trigger the guide, but it doesn't matter because this drops me to 1. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any follow-up, so we do win this game with lethal on the following turn. We win 2-0. Alright, I'm going to clear this up so all of you spikes that noticed this in game 2 don't skewer us in the comments. You probably will anyway, but we'll find out. Foley was definitely supposed to win game 2 of our game 2 of our only round because this is round 1. You'll notice that he waited to Searing Blaze my Stoneforge Mystic until after I untapped, meaning that Stoneforge Mystic was no longer summoning sick and I could cheat in the KALDRAS complete. We didn't really want to say anything. We talked about it before the game, and Foley really just wanted to experience playing Modern. We didn't do a whole lot of coaching or anything. We just kind of let him. He wants to do this trial by fire, which I respect because that's how I learned how to play Magic too. But if he had Searing Blaze my Stoneforge Mystic before I could cheat in the KALDRAS complete, you'll notice I was at 1 life at the end of the game. It would have taken nothing for him to like scrounge together lethal with 1 more turn, 1 more top deck, the ability to crack that Sun-Baked Canyon. So Foley, even though he was 2-0'd in his first round, he was dangerously close game 2 to putting all the pieces together. And I think if Foley keeps playing this deck, he's gonna figure it out, and then he's probably gonna move on because if I had to guess, Foley, I don't even need to guess. Foley said he wants to play Enchantress in Modern, and that is kind of a real deck. So once he gets his reps in, I think we're going to build him Enchantress and see how that goes. But yeah, that was Hammer Time. Hopefully you liked Hammer Time. There's more Hammer Time coming. Hammer Time sweet. That's all I have for you guys. This is a quick 2-rounder. Tomorrow there's going to be more Modern. We're playing against more people. It's going to be great. And definitely let me know how you've been enjoying these Modern videos. This is now Series 3. So if you want to watch, this is video 1, so I kind of lightly explained the deck. But if you want to watch more videos from this, definitely check the description and the pinned comment and this video at the end, because you know how YouTube videos work. You can click through to the video we selected for you at the end. If you want to continue this series, assuming you're not watching this day 1, in which case this is the only video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time.